If you were to look up into a clear night sky with your naked eye, you would see a vast, seemingly infinite tapestry of stars. For centuries, astronomers looked at this view and made a simple, logical assumption that the space between those stars, the interstellar medium, was a relatively consistent mist of cold hydrogen and ancient dust. We thought our solar system was simply floating in a uniform galactic ocean. But in the 1970s and 80s, when we began launching the first X-ray telescopes beyond our atmosphere, we discovered something that didn't make sense. Instead of a faint, even glow from the distant galaxy, the entire sky was screaming in X-rays. It was as if we were sitting inside a giant glowing oven. This was the first hint that our cosmic neighborhood is far more strange and far more violent than we ever imagined. We discovered that we are living inside a massive hollowed-out cavity in space, a giant hole in the galaxy that surrounds our sun. Within this zone, the gas is nearly 1,000 times less dense than the galactic average, yet it is millions of degrees hotter. We call it the local bubble. It is a structure so vast it defies easy comprehension, stretching over 1,000 light-years in every direction. But why is it there? And how did we end up inside it? I'm your name, and you're watching Stellar Stories. Today, in this deep dive, we are going to explore the invisible architecture of our home, a place built by the deaths of giants. To find the beginning of this story, we have to travel back about 14 million years. At that time, this part of the Milky Way didn't look like a void at all. It was a dense, opaque forest of molecular clouds, the nurseries where stars are born. But within this forest sat a group of massive blue giant stars known as the Centaurus Association. Massive stars are the rock stars of the cosmos. They live fast and they die hard. Over a period of several million years, a chain reaction of at least 15 separate supernovae detonated in this region. Each explosion sent a shockwave screaming through space at thousands of kilometers per second. Like a cosmic snowplow, these waves pushed the interstellar gas and dust outward, clearing a path and hollowing out a massive cavern in the fabric of the galaxy. The energy left behind by these cataclysms didn't just dissipate, it energized the remaining thin wisps of gas to nearly 1,000,000 degrees Celsius. This is the plasma we sail through today. We aren't just living in a bubble. We are living in the graveyard of a star cluster that died long before the first humans ever walked the Earth. For a long time, the local bubble was just a theory, a way to explain those strange X-rays. But then, in 2012 and 2018, we received direct, in situ confirmation from our most distant explorers, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. As the Voyager probes crossed the heliopause, the boundary where the sun's wind meets the space between stars, they detected a sudden jump in the density of cosmic rays. But they also confirmed something else. The space immediately outside our solar system wasn't empty in the way we expected. We are currently passing through a slightly thicker patch of gas inside the bubble called the Local Interstellar Cloud, often nicknamed the Fluff. This cloud is a tiny 30 light-year wide wisp of cooler gas that is somehow surviving inside the 1,000,000-degree heat of the local bubble. It's like a small cloud of steam inside a vast hot sauna. We entered this fluff about 10,000 years ago, just as human civilization was beginning to farm, and we will exit it in another 20,000 years. This brings us to a critical realization. The environment of our solar system is not static. It changes, and these changes have a direct impact on the heliosphere, the magnetic wind shield our sun creates to protect us. If the sun moves into a denser part of the bubble, the pressure of that gas shrinks our shield. For the entirety of human history, we have been lucky to live in a stable, low-pressure environment that allows our solar shield to remain strong and wide. Where did all that snow-plowed gas from the supernovae go? It didn't simply vanish into nothingness. It was pushed to the edges of the 1,000 light-year cavity, forming a thick, dense shell of gas and dust. Recently, thanks to the incredibly precise 3D mapping from the Gaia Space Observatory, we've been able to visualize these walls for the first time in human history. And what we found was a beautiful cosmic irony. The same explosions that cleared out our neighborhood and destroyed everything in their path also triggered the birth of a new generation of stars. Almost every famous star-forming region near Earth, places like the Ophiuchus and Upper Scorpius clouds, is literally sitting on the surface of this bubble. The pressure from the expanding bubble compressed the surrounding gas so much that it forced it to collapse under its own gravity. We are surrounded by a ring of stellar nurseries, a wall of creation that separates our quiet, empty pocket of space from the rest of the crowded galaxy. One of the most profound things to consider is that the Sun is a visitor here. Our solar system is about 4.6 billion years old, while the local bubble is a mere 14 million years old. This means that for 99% of our history, we lived in a different part of the galaxy. The Sun orbits the center of the Milky Way once every 230 million years. We are traveling at a staggering 720,000 kilometers per hour. Based on our current trajectory, we only walked through the door of the local bubble about 5 million years ago. This temporary stay in the bubble is actually a gift to astronomers. Because the bubble has cleared the air, so to speak, we have a much clearer view of the deep universe than we would if we were embedded in a dense molecular cloud. If we were elsewhere in the galaxy, the night sky might be an opaque fog of dust, and we might never have discovered the existence of other galaxies or the true scale of the cosmos. So, there you have it. The local bubble is a fascinating, invisible structure that plays a silent but vital role in our existence. It is a reminder that our solar system does not exist in isolation. We are deeply connected to the violent, cyclical history of our galaxy. As we continue our journey through the Milky Way, we must realize that our stay in this protected void is coming to an end. Eventually, our orbit will take us out of the local bubble and back into the dense, high-pressure environments of the galactic disk. What that means for our heliosphere and our planet remains a subject of intense scientific study. But for now, we continue our voyage through the graveyard of giants, protected by the very explosions that once threatened to tear the neighborhood apart. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into our cosmic neighborhood. I'm your name, and you've been watching Stellar Stories. If you want to keep exploring the wonders of the final frontier, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Until next time, keep looking up.